Part of our cutting-edge approach here at DeWitt Physical Therapy to sports medicine includes using cutting-edge modalities. So we use the Neubie, which is a direct current electrical stimulation machine, which is very different than our traditional alternating current machines. And so we can use it to enhance motor unit recruitment and build functional patterns with our patients as they progress through rehab. So especially for any lower quarter injury or surgery, we know that muscle activation is huge. We want to get that quad going. We want to sink it back into that whole system to optimize function. So we're going to first start with some low-level, like kind of think post-op exercises with Elijah, and we're going to kind of demonstrate like an expedited timeline of integrated exercises as we go along. So Elijah, what we're going to do is we got a pad on his VMO and his rectus femoris, and we're going to start turning that up, and tell me when you feel something. It's twitchy. Good. I want it to be about a 6 or a 7 out of 10, so I want it to be pretty strong. Great, cool. All right, so we're just focusing on the quad at this point, and we all know how important that quad is after any kind of like knee or lower body injury and surgery. So all I want you to do there is just go ahead and give me a couple of quad sets. And so we're going to squeeze, we're going to hold, we're going to work on that time under tension. The machine is really trying to make that mind-body connection and to really strengthen that neural pathway, along with getting those muscles to really kick in and recruit and fire more motor units. So we can progress from there. We can take it into our quad sets, as our straight leg raises. Even if he doesn't have a quad lag, we're just reinforcing movement patterns with this, and that's okay. We're still going to get more out of it. We want to think about working smarter, not just harder. Still want him to work hard, but not only smarter, or not only hard. All right, next, go ahead and put your right leg through that. So now we're going to progress him up into more of a standing, weight-bearing phase of rehab. And so I'm just going to have you do some terminal knee extensions. And actually, Elijah, while you're there, I'm going to add that posterior chain into this. So tell me when you feel something.
Yeah, I kind of feel it in the glutes and hamstrings.
Perfect, great. And then go ahead and tell me when it's that same like 6, 7 out of 10.
That's great.
Great. And so now what we've done, and this is why it's a lot different than your Russian stimulation, it's just on and he's moving, but we're also using that quad, and now we're adding in that glute and hamstring because we want it to be a force couple. We want all these movements and these muscle groups to work together to produce this functional movement. And so it's really syncing everything in, optimizing some of these movement patterns. Great, now go ahead and go into a single leg stance weight shift and then give me a march. So now we're really syncing that anterior chain and posterior chain, plus all the stimulation that he's getting through those pads is increasing his proprioceptive awareness at the same time. Great, come on out of there. Now, as we move into more of his pattern building, we can work on something as basic as an air squat, right? So go ahead, nice and slow for me. We're going to work him through as much range as is indicated. In his case, it's just for demonstration, so I'm going to have him do a full range air squat. But we're going to get good, solid muscle contraction all the way through because that stim is staying on constantly. Now, we can also do a split squat. We can work into his lunge position, and we can build it there too. Again, we're reinforcing movement patterns, reinforcing muscle activation, optimizing that. We can work on our hinges, so our deadlifts, picking things up off the ground. We can work on steps, really anything. Later in our rehab phases, we can also load this. So we can add a goblet squat. And so now he's working harder, we're loading him, but we're still, and even though his movement patterns are really competent, we're still going to try to get as much out of his quads, glutes, that whole lower quarter as possible, and we're doing so because we're using that Neubie. Do the same thing with our lunges, our split squats, any of these patterns that we want to do. So again, we want to work smarter and harder at the same time. The Neubie allows us to do that. So that's part of our comprehensive approach to sports medicine. Again, using cutting-edge modalities for the purpose of having cutting-edge approach to sports medicine.